The energy in Colorado has been crazy since Sanders got here, man. The Prime Effect, Deion Primetime, CU Buffs, we know what's going on. But check it out. I got the official DJ of the CU Buffs, my man, DJ Fadorah. What's going on, bro?
What's good, Graffiti, man? What's the word? What's the word?
How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling blessed, man. It's a good time to be in the city, man. And just in Denver and Colorado in general, in Boulder. It's a great time to be an artist. It's a great time to be in the city. It's a lot of things moving and shaking.
Absolutely, man. And before we get to, talking about the Prime Effect and CU and all that, let's talk about you, man. I've been watching your journey for a while now.
Yeah.
And you've been moving around. How long you been doing this DJ?
Man, this is year 15 for me, man. 1-5.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's been a blessing, man. Been doing this for 15 years. I come traditionally through the dance circuit. So a lot of people don't know, but I was a dance major. Did my dance thing. Moved to Harlem after I graduated from Prairie View A&M University. So did that for a while. Moved to Harlem, did my dance thing. Came back here, opened a salsa studio. I'm a 3-time international salsa champion.
I didn't know that. That's
yeah,
fire.
man. So did all of that, and then full circle, I got into DJing because once a month we were hiring a DJ to do a salsa social for our studio, and we were paying this cat a grip of money. And I was straight from Harlem, so I had all the records. And the person that I was, teaching with at the time was like, man, you need to just teach yourself how to do this so we can say this bread.
Yeah.
So definitely self-taught, but that's kind of how I came to the art form at hand.
That's what's up, man. So from Harlem to Denver, that's a culture
jump.
shock right there.
For sure, yeah.
Talk about that, just the shift in the culture from the two.
Yeah, I've lived a couple different places, being in Houston for school, then going to Harlem, then coming to Denver. I think that every city phonetically has its different, faux pas and energy and culture. The one thing I love about just New York in general is it's a very, very tough place to be, but I think that it brings out a quality in the people there and the relationships of the people there, just because you realize that everybody's on the hustle, everybody's on the struggle. And so when you find your tribe there, I've had some genuine friendships that, I hold sacred to this day, just because it brings out a different quality. And I believe that, New York in general is a great place to sharpen your teeth and get your chops, find yourself, because there's a lot of work being done. It's not really about how things look, it's about how things are, when you get to that East Coast culture in general. Yeah,
it's just fast-paced work, movement.
Absolutely.
I already know, man. But
Absolutely.
Speaking of culture shifts, so, me being a Denverite, being here all my life, born and raised, and just,
For sure.
I've always been a fan of all Colorado teams.
Right.
Love or hate, win or lose.
Absolutely.
Whatever. So it's the best time to be a Buffs fan right now, man.
Absolutely.
But I say that to say the culture shock, the wave that's happening in Boulder, Colorado right now. Let's talk about that energy.
So even in more full circles, a lot of people don't realize that I went to high school in Boulder.
Wow.
So I went to Fairview High School. And, man, I remember just the culture out there, maybe not necessarily feeling wanted or valued, being a young African-American male in that system, and kind of seeing how all of that has changed and shifted. And, Boulder is as culturally diverse as Aurora and Denver is right now, because people, the Prime Effect is real. But you got to understand the supporting staff, right, of that, the people that Prime has brought out, and then the support system of those people that he's brought out. So it's made an incredible opportunity for entrepreneurs, for services, all to kind of, because Boulder is really an untapped market. It's really not a place that we tend to frequent or think of going to. Like, I have a party out there tonight, and it's like, wow, I've been DJing for 15 years, but can't really recall ever having a gig in Boulder, right? So just having those venues being more open and accepting to us, it's really shifted things dramatically. And I think, it's been really great to see that, to find like a new home in a sense.
Find a new home, definitely. That's a good way to put it.
For sure.
It's been there. We know what it is. If you know college culture, it's party town. But now it's
Absolutely.
Like, all right, let's go to Boulder. Let's check out what's going on.
That's
Let's
a
see
fact,
what
man.
Fadorah's doing up there tonight.
I always tell people, when I talk about Boulder, I'm like, when is the last time you've been up there?
Yeah.
And if it's been more than 4 or 5 years, I'm like, man, you got to get back up there.
It's a whole different world.
Things are built up. Things are shifted. There's a lot of cool venues, a lot of cool spaces, and I mean, man, just walking through campus, man, it feels like home. You know, there's kind of a running joke where they say HBCU because there's a lot of that culture, you know, that's kind of, you know, come with those guys. 'Cause those guys are from everywhere, right?
For sure.
So it's a beautiful place, a beautiful feeling for sure.
Yeah, man. So let's talk about that. Just being in that stadium, you know, Folsom Field, it's game day. We hitting the turf right now. The crowd's going crazy. The energy, you know what I mean? You in the locker room, you hitting them records. Tell us about it, man. How's that feel?
Man, it is a dream job. You know what I mean? It's absolutely, it's hard to even put into words sometimes how blessed I feel because, you know, this really is history, right? Like I am the first locker room DJ in Division I football. You know, I am the first traveling locker room DJ in Division I football. Even some of the iconic wins and situations we've had, these are going to be replays that you find on SportsCenter and ESPN for eternity. You know, we have, you know, a lot of people don't understand, like CU has one of the highest watched football games ever, not just for a season, not just for a time. I mean, in the history of college football, that CU versus CSU game last year, the most viewership in football regardless, right? And so we're transcending college football. We're transcending football. I believe that Coach Prime and the CU Bus football team is probably one of the most prolific sports stories that we've ever heard of. Absolutely. I mean, you have a black man that came to Boulder with 3 of his sons, 2 of them which are starting. He got starters on the offensive side and defensive side of the ball. And then you hear a touchdown being scored, and his son's track is being played in the stadium.
Right.
So it's like there's just like the LeBron, you know, Bronny kind of iconic because we've never really seen that. I mean, we got to just give it up for black fathers right now in general. I mean, from a cultural standpoint, I mean, are you kidding me?
Come on, man.
To see this done at this level with such excellence, I mean, it's just that it's amazing thing. It's hard to put into words.
And sports aside, man, one thing I love about what Prime is doing that, you know, kind of goes over people's heads a little bit is just teaching business and entrepreneurship and marketing and branding and these NIL deals that are coming through for these boys. You know, it's changing the game. So, you know, whether we win or lose, he's boosting the economy for one in the city.
10,000%.
Teaching these young boys, hey, you can own your IP and you can brand yourself. You gotta love it, man.
Absolutely. I mean, even just by putting their Instagram handles on the back of their jerseys instead of their last names, the stuff that is being done at CU football, whether it's liked or unliked, believe me when I say in the next 5 years, you're going to see everything copied and everything, you know, reproduced in its own way. But I've said this, you know, candidly a couple times in a couple different situations. Being in that building, I have never in my life been around so many good people in such a small space.
Wow, just genuine. From
the time you hit that door, and I'm not just talking about staffers, I'm talking about the supporting staff, from the people that run the team store to the locker room managers to the custodians. I mean, it is an energy that you are surrounded and immersed with people that absolutely love what they do. And for me, it's been truly eye-opening because I think in our industry in general, we have this competition mentality. And up there, it's really like everybody has a job to do. Everybody does their job, and we support each other to get to that next level, to that next goal.
That's how
you know
it
what
should
I mean?
be. That's how it should
Absolutely.
be. Man, I love that. I love that for you, man. I love the energy that you're bringing there.
It's been good.
Shouts to you. Shouts to DJ Ambitious Boy.
Yeah, my man Ambitious, man. Yeah.
The whole
Can't forget about him. Yeah,
man.
Absolutely.
Shout out to y'all. We doing this as a unit, man. But
10,000%.
What's coming up for you?
Man, you know, with the season at hand, it's really just, you know, trying to lock in and kind of do this job in a way to where it's my hope that with this hire and with my, you know, immersion in college football, that this becomes an occupation. You know, I really hope that some of these Division I programs and bigger programs and sports programs in general use this example as a way to employ DJs all around the country.
For sure.
So there's really a lot of research and development going into, how I do these gigs with the team, how music is implemented, not just from a get the players hype for a game scenario, but I've been in the lunchroom on a Thursday and play things to relax players or, just there's all kinds of scientific ways that music affects us, right? We use music for a lot of different things. And so, really focused on being the soundtrack of the team, minimizing my voice and amplifying theirs, creating those signature moments. And then after the season, man, I really want to travel some more, get out and touch some different soils. But I'm really just committed to sewing back into the community, getting back into, some grassroots things. But really for me, man, this is the first time I think in my 15-year career where I've been stable enough to be selective and use my platform to build things that I want to do rather than have to do, if that makes sense. Absolutely.
And to me, that's success.
Man, listen, this entertainment thing is feast or famine.
Oh, yeah.
It really is feast or famine. And so for me, to be fortunate enough to be one of the few that does do it full time and able to have a little bit of flexibility, I really want to create some unique vibes around the city. You have thrown, prolific parties. We talked about one of your parties coming up. You just have different ideas and different spaces to bring people together. And that's really what I'm about, right, is we have so much beautiful city, and I want to activate more of these spaces for people to be able to enjoy themselves, with music, however that sounds or however that looks.
For sure.
And so I'm really just trying to always push the button forward, man, to create opportunities for those coming behind us.
Makes sense, man. I love that. My man, DJ Fadorah. Let people know how they can find you, man.
Man.
I know you're not the social media guy. I know this.
If y'all know me, I am working on this social media thing. But the best place to find me right now is on Instagram. It's DJ Fadorah. DJ Fadorah on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook as well, but the main way to tap into me right now is on Instagram. A lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, locker room journey, just my journey as a DJ is all being posted there as we speak. Getting ready to launch my YouTube channel. I have all the footage. I just need to wait till the season is over to kind of patch all that stuff together. So that coming soon. And then also, I just dropped my website, www.djfadorah.com. If you just want to go get a gist of, how to find me and all those things and some of the things I've been attached to.
My man, Fadorah. We'll be tapped in, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Always, man.
Yes,
Always
sir.
A pleasure. My man.
Cool.